Right, welcome back to another video on the channel, and as we saw earlier this morning, breaking news, Thomas Tuchel has been sacked by Chelsea, and that's what we're going to be talking about, and who should be replacing him. At the moment, the two favourites seem to be Potter and Pochettino. I'll say my thoughts on there. We'll also have a look at maybe Zidane as well, as he's also up there, but I'm not too sure if that will happen, but yeah. What we'll do is we'll go to here. Last video, what we've already done Brighton actually, where we talked about Brighton, we used FOTMob. Today we're going to be using SafeScore, just something a little bit different, see what I feel like I can use better. But yeah, at first we're going to be looking at Potter, and obviously we all know how good of a manager Potter has been for Brighton and everything he's done. And as you see here, 43 wins, 43 draws, 48 losses, 1.28 points per match. What for Brighton is a brilliant record. He did well for Swansea as well. To say when he was at Swansea, they went in an amazing position. And before that, Östersund, where he played lots of games and did very well there. But yeah, Potter, he's a top-class manager. 409 games in total. Here it says preferred formation 4-4-2, and they've got that wrong in my opinion. I don't know if he played that formation in Sweden. And it's actually just come through whilst recording this. Chelsea make approach for Potter. We'll still talk about the other manager, but like I said, we'll look at Graham Potter first. And Potter obviously plays, really, he kind of changed it up, but either a 5-2-1-2 or kind of a 5-3-2 or something like that. He always goes 5 at the back, which Chelsea play right now, really. I know they're trying to maybe change it a little bit, but I think with the defenders that they've got, Chelsea staying at 5 at the back might be the best solution for them, because then they'll have Koulibaly, Fofana and Thiago Silva, and that is a brilliant defence. Obviously James and probably Cucurella as the wing backs, because that's another thing to take. How good Cucurella was under Potter at Brighton. Potter comes in, and you'd think he would be similar to how he was playing for Brighton. I think the only thing would be, where would Sterling play in this? And I think Sterling would play up front with maybe Broja, because Potter comes in. This is good for both Gallagher and Broja. The reason it's good for Gallagher is because Tuchel wanted Gallagher to play in kind of a double pivot, where dropping back a bit as a defensive midfielder, but Potter wants his midfielders to be box-to-box midfielders, and Gallagher, we've seen for Palace, can do that, and that is Gallagher's game, really. So I think that that would suit Gallagher a lot better, and it would also suit Broja better, because Potter for Brighton, we know he gives the youth a chance. My only worry with Potter is, well, not my worry with Potter, but my worry if Chelsea did get Potter. I mean, I'm not a Chelsea fan, I hate Chelsea, but from a Chelsea's perspective, how good the recruitment system and team are at Brighton. I mean, Chelsea's is nowhere near as good, and they bring in young players to kind of, like Caicedo, for example, and he's like basically replaced Basuma just like that. And Liverpool, and I'm sure next summer many more big teams will be looking at Caicedo, maybe even Chelsea if Potter is appointed. But that's my only worry, that the recruitment system is nowhere near as good, and that was a big factor for Potter at Brighton. And the other thing is, will Potter be able to he should be able to. I mean, I can't believe football's got to this point, but so they've got some big egos in that team, and let's say they've just brought Aubameyang in, for example. When he sees Potter, Graham Potter has become the manager of Chelsea, I mean, I can't imagine him being too impressed, even though the fans will be and should be, and the players should be. But we've got to this point in football now where player power is quite heavy. But yeah, for me, if we go to Brighton, I know we did a whole Brighton video. So I'm not used to using this out here. The average rating is Pascal Gross, brilliant. Just attacking from midfield, same as McAllister, Trossard. Now all three of those, I've played in that attacking midfield role, and they can all play in that centre midfield role. So someone like Mount, this could favour heavily for, because look, Mount is not been good this season, but Mount's is a good player. He just needs to show it more, and if Mount can do something similar to maybe what McAllister does, obviously Mount is better than McAllister, but at a higher level, I think, I just really think Mount could fit in the system at Chelsea under Potter. Havertz, on the other hand, I'm not too sure on Havertz. Would he play as a striker? I don't think he's definitely not a striker, but maybe in a 2 up front formation, he might be able to. Or does he play in that attacking midfield role? I'm not too sure of Havertz, but I think definitely Mount. If we do go to Chelsea, sorry, like I said, so the best performing players this year: Reece James, probably by far being the best player. Thiago Silva, very consistent centre back. I mean, it says Mount's been playing alright here, it's just his stats, but for me, Mount under a Potter system could work very well. Kante, I'm not too sure if that would work under a Potter system. It might do, but I think Kante is starting to pass his best now. We passed his best, and look, for me, Kovacic and Gallagher is the midfield that would work best under Potter at Chelsea, and really who Chelsea should be concentrating as a midfield. Because for me, Jorginho is nowhere near at that level, really. Just in my opinion. And we talked about Broja. Like I said, Broja will get a option, more game time. And to be fair, Reece James is a right wing back, and Cucurella is a left wing back. I think that would work very well. Players like Trevor Chalobah would probably get more of games as well. So look, for me, I think Potter would be the better manager. We'll look at Pochettino in a second. But it could go sour, really. Right, Mauricio Pochettino, obviously Espanyol, brilliant. So then Southampton gave him the chance, very good at Southampton. Then Tottenham, where he took Tottenham to a Champions League final and came quite close to winning it. And then obviously PSG, where it's not really worked out. It didn't really work out amazingly at PSG. Still won the league, but I think PSG wanted to be better in the Champions League. But the thing with Pochettino is he was managing maybe out of his depth a bit, not in the league. Look, I could manage PSG and win that league, but maybe managing Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, especially when Messi didn't really fit his system and all this. And look, Pochettino is a top manager, and this would also make sense in a way for Chelsea. I know a lot of fans probably don't want this, but what Pochettino would bring is maybe right now the better performances, where Potter would probably be a more long-term manager. So I think if they brought in Potter, they might not get in the Champions League this season, but in the long term, I think they'll be more successful. But with Pochettino, I think Pochettino will bring that success now, but I think you could only reach a certain limit with Pochettino, in my opinion. I don't think you'll ever be getting Champions Leagues. You might get decently far into the Champions League or Premier Leagues, but with Potter, you're actually building something. If Brighton brought Potter and their director of football, whoever that is, that would definitely, in my opinion, definitely work. But I don't think Chelsea board will do that. I don't think they'll bring a new director of football in after only just being the new owners. But yeah, I think, look, Pochettino is a top class manager. Is he a right fit for Chelsea? Like I said, for the now, yes, but for the long term, I can't really see it working massively. And here it says, I'm not sure what his preferred formation is. 4-2-3-1 is what it says here. I think that might be right. And so that's going to the back four. Where really you'll have James and then probably Silva and Fofana, or Silva and Koulibaly, something like that. And then Cucurella or Chilwell. And then in your defensive midfields, see Gallagher, unless you play Gallagher and Cam, but yeah, Gallagher won't fit this way. Mount, Havertz, they might. I mean, it's a bit of a boring option to Pochettino, if we're being honest. And so far, I think right now, out of all the candidates, I think you'll be the best option. Potter. But if we're talking about Zidane, I think this is Zidane's player if we want. Zidane as a manager. Or is it as a manager? Oh, no, here we go. So Zidane as a manager, 50. Brilliant for Real Madrid at two different occasions, but also did very well in the youth systems. But as you see here, these records are incredible. Won 3 Champions Leagues, I think, with Real Madrid. As you see, 63%. But the best manager out of the 3 that we're talking about. The only worry with Zidane is he can't speak English, and now as a Leeds fan, I know we have Bielsa, but Bielsa came in, start of the season, set out his plans. You'll be bringing Zidane in 7-8 games into the season, and with a lot of players who would respect Zidane, but would they really get on board? Maybe if it was start of the season, yes, but because he can't speak English, it's a bit like this. It's a bit 50-50 with Zidane. I don't think Zidane would go. The only team I could see Zidane going to manage is either back to Real Madrid or France. But look, yeah, Zidane's a top-class manager. Would he fit Chelsea? In my opinion, no. I think he's better than Potter and Pochettino. But like I said, I just don't think he would fit Chelsea at all. But yeah, like I said, for me, in my opinion, everyone's got their own opinion. The best manager that could go to Chelsea that are in the candidates is Graham Potter. Put in the comments who you think. And yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.